I'm going to be talking about finding the right college fit. So what is college fit? College fit is really 3 separate components, and each of them are equally important, and I'm going to get into each of them, but it's academic fit, social fit, and financial fit. So why should you care about college fit? College fit matters because the better match you are for a particular college or university, the more likely you are to be admitted. You're also a lot likelier to be happy in college and enjoy your college experience if you're at a school that's a good fit for you, which in turn makes it more likely that you're going to graduate from college, which is of course the ultimate goal. So fit really matters a lot. One of the big messages around college fit is that you need to apply to more than one college. You may do your research and find the school that's the right fit for you, but you still need to apply to at least 3 to 5 colleges because first of all, you may not be admitted to the school that's your great fit. You also may not get the financial aid that you need, and so you want to just have a lot of choices and really be able to be making that choice for yourself. So I would recommend that you apply to 3 to 5 colleges. The one kind of caveat or exception to that is that if you're committed to getting a specific technical certification, just go ahead and apply to the Tennessee College of Applied Technology that offers that program, and don't worry about applying to multiple colleges. The big thing about fit is that each person is unique, so college fit is different for everybody. It's very personal, and it really kind of, as you're weighing some of these questions, you really need to think about yourself as a person. How do you learn best? What are the things that you need in order to be successful? And it's important to keep in mind that it really may not be the same things that your best friend or your boyfriend or your girlfriend is looking for in a college fit, because you are a different person than they are. As we're going through and talking about some of the components of fit, you may be wondering where you can locate this information. So first of all, college websites are a great resource. There's a lot of information available on individual college websites about all the components of fit. But something to be aware of is that there are websites out there that will try to charge you a fee to do kind of a college search for you and things like that. So you should just be aware of that. Be careful and make sure you're not getting scammed. There are a lot of statistics that are available out there on sites like collegefortn.org as well as College Navigator. You can also take campus visits, and this is a really great way to get a sense of especially the social fit. So if that's not a possibility for you, you can watch campus tours online, videos online, things like that. You can also call the admissions office or email your admissions representative to find a lot of this information. One of the most valuable resources are past and current students of the colleges or universities that you're interested in. If you don't know anyone that's been to the college that you're interested in, just contact the admissions office and ask them to be able to speak with a student, and they can connect you with a current student there. But just think about if there are other students from your high school or your community who have gone to the college that you're interested in, how you can get in touch with them. Maybe a teacher has their contact information, or maybe you can get in touch with them over the summer. Another great source of information is faculty members, so professors at the college or university that you're interested in. If you are able to do a campus tour, I strongly recommend that you sit in on a class just to see what it's like, because classes will be different college to college, and this will kind of give you a good idea if you can learn well in that environment. So the first type of fit is academic fit. One of the first questions you need to ask yourself is, does this college offer the type of degree you want? If you want a technical certification, you should not be applying to MTSU because they don't offer that. So the first is to figure out kind of what degree path you're looking for, and then figure out which colleges will offer that. The next component of academic fit is thinking about if you are kind of a match for the school academically. The easiest way to tell that is to look at your GPA, your grade point average, and your ACT score, and then look at the schools that you're interested in, what their average GPA and ACT scores are. So there are different kind of categories of schools that you should be thinking about when you're thinking about academic fit and applying to college. The first type of school is called an open access school. So Tennessee Colleges of Applied Technology and Tennessee Community Colleges are open access schools, which means that they don't have standards for admission. Everyone who applies for admission is accepted. So if your GPA and ACT score are not as high as you would like, and you're having a hard time finding schools beyond TCATs or community colleges that are going to be a good fit for you, open access schools are always an option, and really mean that anyone can go to college, because it doesn't matter what your GPA or ACT score is, you can be admitted. If you're a little bit more of a competitive applicant, you can look at things like safety schools, good fit schools, and reach schools. So safety schools are schools where your GPA and ACT score are above the average of the typically admitted student at that school. So let's say University of Memphis has an average ACT score of an 18, but your ACT score is a 22, that would be a safety school for you. Good fit schools are where you're right in line with the average, so you stand a pretty good chance of being admitted, you kind of fit the typical profile. And then reach schools are schools where your academic profile is a little bit lower than what the average may be, but you want to apply to those anyway because average scores are just an average. You may still be admitted, but you don't want to necessarily put all your eggs in that basket. So ideally, you want to be applying to at least one safety school, at least one good fit school, and at least one reach school. Another important question to ask yourself about academic fit is if this institution retains and graduates students like you, because the goal of college is to end up with that post-secondary credential. So if you are looking at a college but they have a very low graduation rate, that's something that you really want to seriously consider is, am I actually going to graduate from this school? Something else that you can look at is job placement rates. Do people who graduate from this college end up getting jobs right after they graduate, or do they end up unemployed? Another component of academic fit is considering the types of experiences that you want to have in college. So do you want to do things like apprenticeships, which is where you're placed in a business and you get to learn kind of that trade? Do you want to do an internship where you're working for a local organization or company and learning more about it? Do you want to study in another country and do a study abroad program? So think about what kinds of experiences you want and then see if the colleges you're interested in offer those. You also really want to consider if the college will have academic support for you. College level work is very different from high school level work, and there is a transition that needs to happen when you first start college. So think about, does the college offer free tutoring? So if you're really struggling in a class, there's someone you can go and talk to about that. Do they have a writing center so that if you're working on an essay, you can show a draft to someone and actually get them to provide edits to you? Will you be kind of left on your own to choose what classes you enroll in, or will you actually be paired with someone who's an advisor who will help you decide which classes are going to be the best for your needs? And finally, does the college offer things like freshman-only classes that will help you learn the study skills that you need and help ease you into the college experience? Something else to think about with academic fit is how big are the classes? Some large universities will have classes that are 200 students or larger. Are you the type of person that's going to be able to pay attention and actually go to class if nobody's taking attendance, or are you going to be better off in a smaller setting where the professor is going to know if you're there or not every day? You want to think about how the professors are involved with students outside the classroom. At some large institutions, professors have minimal contact with students. So if it's important to you to be able to build relationships with your professors, to get recommendations for graduate school or things like that later on, you might want to consider a smaller school. If you have a disability, you really need to seriously consider if the college can accommodate your needs, because colleges are mandated by law to accommodate students with disabilities, but there's wide variance between institutions in terms of the types of supports that they offer and how well those supports are integrated into the college experience. So next is social fit. An important question to ask yourself about social fit is, are students like you succeeding socially and academically at this college? Do they seem to be a part of the social life of the college? You want to consider if the college will offer structured ways for you to make friends and meet people, or if you'll kind of be on your own to figure that out by yourself. A great way to meet people and kind of start college off on the right footing is an orientation program. So does the college have orientation? Is it mandatory or is it voluntary? That's a really important question to ask. You want to consider if the college offers on-campus housing, especially if you know that that's something that you're really going to need. But if you're the type of student where you really don't want to live on campus, you need to consider if you'll be missing out on a lot of the social life of the campus if you choose to live at home or live off campus. You need to think about if the school is small or large and how that affects social life. Is it the type of campus where everybody knows everybody else, or is it a large campus where you can kind of be anonymous? And which is going to be better for you and which do you want? Something else to consider is if the school is urban or rural, and thinking about how that affects the social life of the campus and also how that affects your career opportunities. You know, if you're attending a rural campus, you may not have access to the same types of internships and job opportunities that you would have at an urban school. So it's just something to consider. Another component of social fit is thinking about how close the college is to your home. You know, are you someone that is comfortable being far away from home? Do you think you're the type of person where if you were too close to home, you'd just go home all the time? So distance from home is a really important consideration. But more generally, and this is something that you can really figure out on a campus tour, is the school a place where you actually like to be? You know, do you like to spend time there? Do you think the other students are interesting and would you want to talk to them and be friends with them? Is really an important consideration that you can ask yourself on a campus visit. Does the school have an alumni network that you can access to help find a job after you graduate? Do you have the opportunity to hold a leadership position on campus as the president of a club or in student government? If you're going to be living on campus, you want to consider how many students go home on the weekends. Are the dorms going to be completely vacant because everybody's leaving, or does everybody stay over the weekend? You also want to think about the types of extracurricular activities that the school offers. So, you know, if sports is something that's important to you, you know, there's different types of sporting events that you can take part in. There are kind of what we think of as the typical college sports like football and basketball, like NCAA sports, but there are also club sports and intramural sports that allow you to actually play sports not as a collegiate athlete, but just for fun. Also, you can think about Greek life. If you want to join a fraternity or a sorority, is that an option at the college that you're looking at? And just thinking about what types of cultural events are available on the campus. Other types of extracurricular activities that you may want to consider are there opportunities to be involved in the arts? Does the college offer opportunities to be engaged in the wider community and perform service? And does the college offer the faith community that you need and access to the religious services that you'd be looking for? And then finally, financial fit. One of the most important questions is, does the college offer financial aid other than student loans? And you can find statistics about, you know, how much does the college award in gift aid or aid that doesn't have to be repaid. You can also find statistics about how much debt the average graduate has. Once you apply to your multiple colleges and you get your financial aid award letters, you can look and see, does this financial aid package really fit my family's budget? Are we going to be able to afford this? If you're going to be required to take out student loans, you know, do your research and figure out what is the monthly payment that you're going to have to make after you graduate, and can you really afford that? An important consideration to think about related to your monthly payment for your loans is what the average salary is for a graduate in your field. You know, if you're going to be going into a field where the average starting salary is $30,000 a year and your student loan payment is going to be $500 a month, that's not going to be something that you're going to be able to afford. So you really need to consider that. Something else related to financial fit is thinking about, are there other students at your income level at this school, and can they make ends meet? If you're a low-income student and you're attending a college where there aren't a lot of other low-income students, you know, is that something that's going to be an issue for your social, financial, and academic success? You want to think about, does the college provide financial aid that covers things beyond just tuition and fees? Because there are other costs associated with attending college than just tuition. And then, you know, if you're thinking about going to college away from home, is this a college that provides financial assistance for students who have to travel home, who may have to take a flight to get home? And is that something that you're going to be able to afford to do if you're looking to be further away from home? Another component of financial fit is looking at what the average net price is of the college. The net price is kind of what you would end up paying for each year. And that information is available on a lot of websites, and you can also access a net price calculator on every college website to help you figure that out. Something else to consider financially is, do most students have to work, or will you have to work? And is that going to be something that you're going to be able to balance with all of your schoolwork and still get the grades that you need to be able to graduate? Another important question that you can ask about financial fit, and this is another reason why it's really important to apply to multiple colleges, is once you get your financial aid award letter, if it's not something that you're going to be able to afford to pay, have you called the financial aid office to make sure that they can't award you additional funding? Because sometimes they can. You also really need to look at your overall budget And consider things like, do you have the money to be able to pay for a computer if you're going to need one? Do you have the money to be able to pay for your textbooks every semester? What other supplies might you need, and do you have the money to pay for that? If you're going to be going into, a fine arts program, you may have to buy art supplies. If you're going to be going into a music program, you may be having to buy a musical instrument, things like that. So think about what supplies you need and if you're going to be able to afford it.